Hi everyone. This is Sai from LetsUpgrade. So let's talk about how to get your certificate. It's very simple. You will see two links in the description. Number one is the place where you have to go and mark your attendance. Marking your attendance tells us like, okay, you are a legit student who have attended this particular session. Link number two is your assignment. This is where your 90% of the priority is. You have to go and submit the assignment that is given to you in this particular session. Once you're done submitting that assignment, we will be evaluating that. We will send you an email. If you get the passing criteria, then only we will give you the certificate on a particular date that is mentioned again in the description. Please check these three things, and this is the way how you will get a certificate from Let's Upgrade. Number one, mark your attendance. Number two, just go ahead and upload your assignment. Check for the email that you have received it, yes or no. What is the feedback that you have received from your trainer? Number three, check on which date the certificates will be released. Thank you. Bye. All the best. Happy learning.
So now let's start with the basics of CSS. Okay, so let's start with the full form of CSS very first. So what is CSS? CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheets. So as the name suggests, it is a style sheet. Okay, so what it is used to do? It is used to style the elements which you have till now learned about in the HTML sessions. So okay, before starting that, I would like to recap about the HTML elements that we have learned in the previous session. So the elements that we have covered were heading tags, paragraph tags, image tags, and a simple form tag. Okay, and the input elements inside the form. Okay, so now let's jump into the style sheets and how do we style those particular elements. So let me quickly open the editor back. So this was the web page that we were working on. So now let's quickly jump into the code. Okay, so if you guys remember what I told you about the head, so head was the place where all the logic and everything that is required to run your web page resides, right? So similarly, the styling part also resides in the head part only. Okay, so the style tag can reside inside the head. So style opens, style closes. Okay, so here is the place where we will be writing our CSS. Okay, so right now I'm not creating a separate CSS file. Once you get familiar with this way, I'll be shifting all the CSS to the CSS file. Okay, so now let's quickly style our tags. So one way like to reference a particular element is directly by their name. So since we have a single h1 tag, we can simply reference h1 like this and opening and closing brackets, and inside this we can just give the properties. So let's say I want to change the color of my heading, so simple color, and I want to make it dodger blue, let's say. Okay. So this is a shade of blue. So now my h1 heading tag will come in dodger blue color. Okay, so like if I go back over here and refresh, you see the color of my heading 1 has changed to dodger blue, right? So similarly, if I wish to like add a few more things, like let's say font family, let's say I want to change the font of that. So let's say I want to make it Vardana. Okay, so if I save it and I go back and refresh, so you see the font has changed, right? The font style has changed over here. So similarly, if I want to make it not bold, so font weight is the property. So font weight normal. If I go back and I refresh, you see it's not bold anymore. Okay. So this is how we style simple h1 tags, how we reference to it by simple name. Okay. So this was one way of referencing. So now coming to the other ways of referencing. So let's say I want to reference this h2 tag by some way. So there are certain ways. Those are known as attributes. So one is the ID attribute and another is class attribute. So I'll be teaching you both. So the ID attribute is nothing but just you write ID and give it some ID. So let's say it can be anything your wish. Okay, anything A B C D E F G, anything we wish to give, you can give. Heading 2. Okay, that's it. I give heading 2. So how would you reference using ID attribute? Using the hash symbol. So hashtag heading 2. Okay, that's it. Opening closing braces, and again I'll just give it color. So let's say this time I wish to give it brown. Okay, so that's it. I'll change and I'll go over here. So you see the brown color started coming over here. So this is how we referenced using the id attribute. Okay, so we referenced this particular element using an id attribute. Similarly, there is a class attribute. So let's say I add class, and class I give heading 3. This also you can give anything, a b c d f g, anything of your choice, heading 3. So I just so how do we reference using class? We use a dot symbol. So dot heading 3. Okay, opening and closing braces, color. So let's say I want to give it color yellow. Okay, so that's it. Now go back, refresh. Yellow is not very visible on the white background, so let's give it some other color. Let's say violet. Okay, and we go over here and refresh. So you see the violet color is visible over here, right? So this is how we have styled our heading tags using the id and class attributes, as well as by directly referencing it. So similar thing we can do with our p tag as well as image tag. So let's say image. So in the image we have given all these things, right? So similarly I'll give it class. So I'll give it logo. I'll give the class name as logo, and here how I'll do it, dot logo. Okay, so what properties can I change of the image? Let's say I want to change the width, like how much width it is occupying on the screen. So let's say I give it 200 px. I'm not sure if it is okay. It's small. 200 px is less than the original image size. Okay, so you see the image has resized. So let's say I want to give it 1000 px. So it will stretch. So you can see. So you see it has stretched across the screen, but 200 px was looking good, so I'll give it that. Okay. Similarly, I can give it some height. So height I'll give it 100 px. So you see width and height. So height is this part of the screen. Okay. So you see it's not looking good to me. So height, I think it has taken more. So let's give it 50 px. Let's see how it looks. Not look nice. Let's go with 80 px. Okay, it's fine, right? So 80 px of height and 100 px of width makes the logo look like this. Okay, so this were some certain properties that I have given. Other properties also you can give. Let's say, let me think. What other property you can give? Like let's say margin. So margin left. Let's say right now you see it is sticking to the left, right? So you want to give some margin from the left. So there is a property margin left. So how? Let's say I want to move it 100 pixels from the left. So you see it has moved 100 pixels from the left. Okay, one more thing that I forgot to tell you, I'm giving px over here, right? So this is nothing but the way of calculation in your computers. So we use pixels, like px is pixels, so it will calculate in pixels. So it will move 100 pixels from the left, top, right, all these things, and the width also it will give in pixels, height also in pixels. Okay, so this is one of the units. Other units are also available. We have em, rm, others are there, but I'm using px over here. Okay, because initially you'll learn like this only. Okay, so then we have margin top. So let's say I want to give it 200 px from the top. See, 200 px it has taken and it has shifted down. Okay, so this was about the margin and width and height. Okay, so now I hope you guys got an understanding about the basic css properties that are width, height, margin. Okay, so actually like this will come in use when we'll learn about another html element, that is div. Okay, so I'll just keep it, because now the basics are done of both HTML, and for CSS other things that I need to tell you, I'll need to explain you about another basic building block of HTML, that is your divs. Okay, so divs, what are divs? Basic building blocks in HTML. Okay, so what you can consider, like these are nothing, but you can like take an example. When you build a home, okay, so what are the basic building blocks that you use while building a home? uh, Bricks, right? So using bricks only you build a home. Start by building bricks, using bricks. Okay, so similarly divs are nothing but kind of bricks only. So you can use divs anywhere to like make up, like properly lay out your page. Okay, so I'll give you an example. So again it is an element, so opening like this and closing like this. Okay, So you can give it any style that you want. So right now, if you don't write anything right inside this div, nothing would be visible. See, nothing will come over here, nothing, not at all. Okay, but if you just give some text inside it, hello, see, this hello has started coming over here, right? So this is nothing but simple building thing which you can keep, and like you can style as and how you want. So I'll give it class, so I'll call it my div. Anything you can give, again class and id, you can give any name. Okay, so I'll give dot my div. So what I'll do again, the main things that would be here is width and height. So I want to give it 500 px of width and 500 px of height, and background color. So this time I wish to give background color to it, so that this entire div is colored with something. So I will give it aqua. Okay, so I'll just save it and I'll refresh it to show you guys. So you see, this is a kind of a building block that has come, right? So you can design it as and how you like, and you can do anything with it. Okay, so this is a div, and this is how I have styled it using giving it some width and height. Okay, so now very interesting question that comes to most of the new developers is, how can we horizontally center this div? So let's say I want to move this div to the center of the screen. Okay, so how we can do that? So it's very simple. So for that, you have to give margin left auto, margin right auto. So it will do what? It will place itself center, like in the center of the screen, horizontally. Okay, what you had to do, only margin left auto, margin right auto, and it placed itself horizontally centered. Okay, so now coming to this text. So like you have a div, inside this you have some text, right? So you want to like move it inside, you want to like move this text somewhere, let's say here. Okay, at this place. So how you can do that? So one way is to like give some margin to this hello text, but I don't want to do that. I want to use padding. So here comes an interesting thing, that is padding, and most new people get confused between margin and padding. So I'll show you what is margin and what is padding. So margin, I hope you guys got an idea. So margin was what? The space this aqua colored div is taking from the screen, so from left, from right. Okay, so that was the margin. Okay, now coming to the padding. So let's say I give it some padding. So padding top, I give it 200 px. Okay, so you see, if I refresh, what happens? You see, when I give padding, this hello shifted over here, right? So why it shifted? Because padding is the space which is coming inside this div. Okay, not from the boundaries, it is coming inside this div. So inside this I have given some padding. If you want to check, there is this box model of css which you can see. So if you just scroll up, so you see this box model is coming, right? So now it is visible clearly, right? So if you see, this is your div, this is the particular div I am referencing to. Okay, so what is the box model of it? This is 500 by 500 px in size. The padding it is taking is 200 px from the top, 0 from left, 0 from right, 0 from bottom. Okay, and margin of this entire was auto, right? So 232 from left, 232 from right, so automatically it has adjusted itself. Okay, so this was about padding. So padding top I have given, similarly I'll give padding left. So one more interesting thing I'll show. So you see, when I give padding left, the size of this div is increasing. Why? Because it has to adjust this, like adjust 200 px as well as the margin, as well as it has to take care of its width, right? So its width has increased. So how would you stop that? For stopping it, we have box sizing. So box sizing, border box. So if you will give this property, it will, the size of this div will remain the same. See, the size is now fixed, 200 500 px width, 500 px height, and the padding from the left is 200, padding from the top is 200. Okay, so this is how we have created a div with some margin and a padding inside it. So I hope these properties of padding and margin are clear to you guys. I hope have you have made it clear and understood to you, and about the box sizing as well. Other properties are very common: background color, and those things like font and all those things are very common. You can, like, once you start doing it right, it will come in handy to you. Like you'll easily get it. Okay, so yeah, that was about some basic CSS properties. So if you are clear, like I'll give you a short activity actually. So what you can do is you can take up a challenge to create multiple divs and try to like give relative margins to them. Okay, so one thing I'll do, I'll just uh, copy one more div over here. Okay, I'll ठीक है my div 2, my div 3. Okay, I'll hello 2, hello 3. Okay, so I'll give like this. So you see by default each div I haven't given any text inside them or what now. Why is it not appearing? Let me see. Okay, hello 2, hello 3 are coming. Okay, so let me give them some styles. uh, Not the exact same. I'll give them 300, 300, 60, 60. Red, purple. Okay, my div 2. Similarly, I'll create my div 3 and I'll give it 100, 100, royal blue, and let's say 20 and 20. Okay, that's it. So now let's come and refresh it. So you see your divs are ready, right? Like they are coming like this. Okay, so what I want you from you guys is like try to create certain things like this. Okay, try to create your own divs, try to play with the margin and padding property. So instead of like the margin left and margin right that I have given as auto, you can try to like give some certain values and shift it like this. Okay, so let's say if instead of margin left auto I give it 20 px, so then see the changes. So like these you can try to experiment on yourself on your own. Okay, so see 20 px from the left it is taking while the others are taking like this. So all these things if you'll like try and experiment on your own, right, you'll get to learn a lot. Okay, so try to perform these activities. So hey guys, welcome to this another session on the HTML and CSS bootcamp. So in this session, we are going to start with the like advanced level of CSS. So in till the previous session, we have covered some basic level of CSS, like how you can give like margin, padding, color, background color, and like width and height, all these properties, which are some basic properties which we have covered. So in this session, we'll be covering some advanced property of CSS. Okay, so those will be basically related to your position, like positioning of elements, and the second thing would be your display properties. Like we'll be covering display flex, like Flexbox in this particular sessions. Okay, so without wasting much time, let's get directly into the code part of it. Okay, so first of all, let's get to the position attribute. Okay, so for that, what I'll do is this was the page that we were using for learning, right? So let's do one thing. Get rid of all these divs which I created. So instead of like removing, I'll just comment them out. Okay, so I've commented the divs out. Okay, so now what I'll do, I'll just simply create a new div and I'll give it class uh, my div again. Not my div, I already have that class name, so I'll give it some other class name. I'll call it learn div. Okay, learn div. Okay, so that's it, and I'll call it follow me. Okay, so now what I'll do is I'll go and style this div. Copy this. I'll go here, since it's a class, so it will start with dot learn div. Okay, so first thing that I want to tell you guys is about the position attribute. So position, so by default what HTML provides the position is static. So static means like uh, I'll refresh this page. So you see follow me, so this is static to the page, and any positioning that I'll give it, like margin and all those things, those will work. So by default the position attribute for a particular element in HTML CSS is static. Okay, so other thing that comes is position fixed. So let's say I want to fix this part, and also let me give some width and height. Width, let's say 200 px. Width, let's say 100%, so that it covers entire width. Okay, and height, let's say 60 px. Okay, and let's say 80 px or 100 px. Okay, and I'll give it some background color dodger blue, and color, so color of the text inside it, I want to give it white. Okay. So now you see, so where is this gone? One minute. Color white background color, position fixed. Let's see first in static, like by default where it is coming. Okay, so by default it is coming over here, right? So when I fix it, I need to give some like positioning to it, like where I need to fix that. So let me quickly inspect and check the elements that I have. Hmm. Learn dev. Okay, so here it is. So this is where my learn dev is sitting. So what I want to give, I want to give it, I want to fix it at the top. So top 0 px. So what will happen now, it will stay at the top. So you see, like rest of the page will scroll behind it, but it will remain fixed at the top. Okay, so what I can do, I can simply give top, or if I want to fix it at the top, I can give it top 0 px. Okay, so it will remain at the top. If I want to fix it at the bottom, I can simply give it bottom 0 px. So you see, it will stay at the bottom and the page will scroll like that. Okay, so where it comes useful, where this kind of positioning comes in useful. So in certain web pages, you might have seen a chat box like that stays at the like bottom right of the screen, and on clicking it you can chat with the customer support or all. So for that, like this positioning fixed comes in handy. So let's say bottom 0 px, and right I want to give 0 px. And what I'll do, I'll give the width as 20%. So now you will see something similar to that. Okay, so you see, this is sticking to the bottom right, like as the chat box in most website comes, right? So like that you can do it. And to make it better looking, you see, it's looking like that only, right? So that was about the position fixed attribute. Okay, so we have covered static, which is by default position fixed. Then other two that comes is position absolute and relative. Okay, so regarding absolute and relative, I'll show you what happens is, let's say you have a parent div class, I'll call it parent. Okay, so inside this you have some child div class equal to child 1. Okay, child 1. Okay, similarly I'll create for child. Okay, so there is a parent. Then what I'll do, I'll give, like we can give two class names. Okay, so the child will be common, then these things will be different. Okay, so child 2, 3, 4. Okay, so 2, 3, 4, like this. Okay, so now let's quickly go to my css. So dot parent, so I will give width 50%, height 300 px. Okay, and margin auto. Okay, background color, again I'll give dodger blue. Okay, fine. So this would be my parent. So let's see how it is coming. So it is coming like this, right? So now I'll tell you about the positioning attribute. Okay, so dot child. So what I'll do is dot child, I'll give, so I want to make those common, so I'll give them width, let's say 40 px. Okay, height I want to give 40 px. Okay, color I want to give white. Okay, that's it. So now you see, background color I didn't give. Let's say give background color on blue. Yellow would come better, but let's try yellow green. Okay, so yellow green is coming like this. Okay, so now I want these child to be like relative to this parent div. Okay, so I want one child to be sitting here, another child to be sitting here, another child to be sitting at this corner, and the fourth child to be sitting at this corner. Okay, so how can I achieve this? So like thinking without knowing the position attribute, it is difficult, right? Like how much margin can I give to this one, how much margin can I give to the second child, then the third child here, then the fourth child here, and that too relative to this particular parent div, not the entire screen. Okay, so we have to achieve that. So for that what this has provided us is, css has provided us is with this position relative. So the parent would be position relative, and your child would be position absolute. Okay, so now what will happen, like right now, like what will happen if you give all those will be one above another. So 1 2 3 4 all are sitting over here only, one behind another. Okay, so now you just want to move them to their respective places, right? So 1 minute, so I have given them this name that is not allowed. It should be one, then two, then three, then four. Okay, so now I'll style it. So dot one. So I want the first div to be top left, right? So top 0 px, left 0 px. Okay. Similarly, I will style my 2, 3, 4 and all. 2. So 2 top 0 px, right 0 px. This will stay at the top right of that div. Okay, so dot 3, uh, bottom 0 px and left 0 px. So now most of you would have easily been able to guess what would be the fourth one. If you say bottom 0 px, you are correct. If you say right 0 px, you are correct. If anything else you say apart from this, then you need to check it again. Okay, so let's see. So now you see child 1, child 2, child 3, child 4. Every one of these are sitting comfortably at the respective positions, right? So how we were able to achieve it? By using the position relative. So the parent would be relative and all the child would be absolute to it. So relative positioning of the parent in which the childs are its absolute like children. Okay, so like this we can achieve it. So similarly, let's say if you wish to have another div at the center, so I'll call it child 5. So how you will achieve it? Div class child 5, and I'll call it child 5. So let's try how we can style it so that it stays there, so at the center. So dot 5, what we'll do is, um, uh, we need to have it right in the center. So from the left and right, both we need to have equal spaces. So let's try left 50% and top 50%. Let's try this. Okay, so you see from the left it has taken 50% space, from the top it has taken 50% space, so it stays at the center, right? So our child 5 has started coming at the center of the screen. So like this we were able to achieve it. And like right now I don't like the look of it, so I'll just change it like this. Okay, so now they are looking better, or height we can get 30 px. Okay, so like this we are able to achieve this. Okay. That's about the position attribute. I hope I was able to make the properties clear. The position static, fixed, position absolute, and relative. Okay, so these are the main important position properties. So that is what I have covered. So now comes another interesting part, that is the display property, the Flexbox. Okay, so the main challenges that a like new developer faces is like positioning the divs. Like one way to position the divs was this. Another way is, let's say when you have n number of divs on your screen. Let's say you have a again I'll take parent and child example. So I'll call it card container. Okay, inside it will be having small cards. Div class is equal to cards. Okay. Mm, I'll call it card, not cards. Okay, card 1. Okay, similarly, I'll have multiple cards, card 2. Similarly, I have multiple card 3. Okay, so now let's style something. So dot card, width 200 px, height 400 px, background color brown. Okay, that's it. Okay, so and okay, so right now if you see how it is coming, so see all my I'll comment this blue portion so that you guys don't get confused, or else what I'll do, I'll give some break lines over here so that there is a space between those. Okay, so I'll make multiple copies. Okay, so you see now the card 1, card 2, card 3, card 4, card 3, like 3 cards I have created. All of them are coming in a vertical manner. They are coming one below another and not in a single row. So they are coming in different columns, right? Sorry, different rows, right? In a single column, they are coming in different rows. I want them all to come in a single row. So how can I achieve that? So most developers face this challenge, okay, in the starting. So one thing, like you might have heard about the property, like if you are like HTML CSS enthusiast, you might have learned about a property which is known as float. So you can like float any particular card. So let's say I give it uh, um, card 2 property, and I'll try to style it, and I'll give it float. So float property, float right. So this is one way. So you see this card has started floating towards the right, but again it will not give you the same effect as you want, like you want equally spaced cards in a single row. So this float property is very confusing and you should try to avoid it. Okay, and also I'll remove this follow me from here. It's creating a problem over here. I'll just comment it out. Okay. Okay, so you see this card 2 is coming here, but this is not the desired operation. Okay, so what we need is, like, you can avoid this float right float property. So what you can do is, we created the card container, right? So dot card container, where is that? The spelling is correct. Card container, yes. So dot card container, we can give it property display flex. Okay, so this is the property that I'm talking about, and flex is the value of it. Okay, so you see now all my cards have started to come in a single line. Okay, so how this was achieved? Because by default, flex direction property of Flexbox is row only. If you wish to make it column, then it will be columnar, like all will come one below another. Okay, so as you wish, it will allow you, it will give you flexibility. So if you want row, it will come in a single row. If you want column, it will come in a single column. Okay, and then justify content, space between. So justify content is a property which will allow you to like space them properly. So you see, justify content space between gave them equal spaces from the whole DOM. Okay, so this is about the justify content property. So let's say you want space between, space around. So space around will leave equal space around also and in between also. So like this, it will calculate all the cards, spacing between the cards. Okay, and then space between, space evenly is also there. So it will also like calculate equal spaces between the cards and the surroundings. Okay, so like this you can put your cards. So I hope this thing has made sense. So let's say one more thing. Let's say there are multiple cards. So let's say, see, multiple cards are there, and I give justify. I'll remove justify content for now. Okay, and what I wish is, there is a property, flex shrink. 0. Okay, and for like I want to create a scrolling effect over here so that I'll be able to scroll the cards, and also I want to give some margin between these cards. So margin left 10 px, margin right 10 px. Okay, so flex string, I guess it's none. I'm forgetting maybe. Okay, let me check quickly. Um, and then okay, sorry, flex string is not given over here, it's given in the cards. Maybe it's 0, let me check. Okay, so flex shrink is 0 now. So now the cards will take their original width, they'll not shrink in size. I just want to make them scroll, so what I'll do, card container width 100%. No, not with 100%. Let's see. I'm forgetting. Let me think. I want it to scroll. So the property that I'm thinking to go give over here is overflow. Overflow X. I want to give it as a scroll. Okay, so now if I refresh, yeah, so the cards will scroll without the entire page moving. Okay, so the cards will scroll in their own container. So this is about the overflow property. If I remove it, you see the cards would like the whole page will scroll. That I don't want. I don't want the whole page to scroll. I just want the cards to scroll in their own container. So for that we have the overflow X scroll. Okay, so see, now only the cards will scroll and not the entire page. So these are the like most important properties of flex. So display flex, flex direction, whichever you want to grip, width 100 per like overflow, and then flex shrink over here. Another property that I can remember is let me think, is flex wrap. Okay, so if you don't want to give this overflow X scroll, you can give flex wrap no wrap. Okay, so what it will do is it will like keep them, and if you will give it wrap, it will move into the next line if it is not possible. Yes, if the spacing is not possible over here, if you will give flex wrap as wrap, it will move the cards to the next line. So this is how it will automatically position the cards. And if you will give it as no wrap, so it will keep them in the single line, and overflow X again you can give as scroll. Okay, so now it will give the same effect. Okay, so this was about your flex property. So it's very important because it comes in handy at most of the places in web development. Okay, so just try to work on it, practice as much as possible. Okay, so that's it. Okay, so before winding up the session, what I'll do now, since our style sheet has become too much, right? Like it's a lot of data over here. So what I'll do, I'll create a separate style sheet, like separate file for it, and I'll give the language as CSS, and I'll paste it, and I'll remove this style and style from here. Okay, and I'll save it on the desktop itself as style.css. Okay, and I'll close this, and now I'll remove this from here, and simple inside the head I'll give link rel is equal to style sheet, and href is equal to dot slash style.css. Okay, so it will link to that style.css file now. Okay, so I'll save it, I'll refresh it. So yeah, still it works, still everything works fine, the same as it is, because the styling is now present in my style.css file and not in this particular file. Okay, so now it's html is here, css is here. Okay, so that's for it for the session. So in the next session, what we'll be covering is we'll be covering a project in HTML CSS. So I was thinking about creating a portfolio, but let's see. I'll give some more options a chance, because there are a lot of websites that can be done. So I hope you guys will enjoy the project building activity that we'll be having in the next session. So I hope to see you guys in the next video, and thank you so much for watching. Bye.